Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Andrew Fillion, and today I brought you to the gym with me. I got a few reasons for that. The first and foremost, doing a little bit of a tech demo today. I want to see if I can take you guys to the gym with me and get things set up right, get some good camera angles going, see just how all of this works so I can bring you guys to the gym with me. Unlike other content creators I see a lot on like Instagram and things like that, they work out, but they don't really tell you much, do they? I want to tell you guys exactly what I'm doing. I want to tell you guys exactly why I'm doing it. And I want to bring you along on my own personal journey. If you've been watching my videos before, you guys know I just got done doing a couple bodybuilding shows. Got my spray tan. It's starting to fade a little bit, so you can start to see over the next week or two, I'm going to go back to being pretty pale, which is nice. I actually kind of prefer that look if I'm being honest. But I thought, okay, I'll bring you guys to the gym with me, see if my microphone's working the way I want it to. The music in the gym right now is actually pretty loud, which is great for a tech demo. I can see, is this microphone actually blocking out all the exterior noise? If it is, then I'm going to be in business. It means that I can come here, shoot more videos, and it won't really matter if the gym's busy or not. As long as this picks up my voice and not everything else, I'm good to go. I could shoot all day. Now, I'm a big fan of the elliptical. I'm usually on the elliptical. The reason I'm on here today, pretty simple reason really. I can keep the microphone on the bike. I'm nice and close. If I was on the elliptical, I'm not really sure where I would put the microphone. I know some people would probably be thinking, well, hey, why don't you just wear that clip-on mic that you've got? And I really just like the podcast microphone. I think it sounds great, especially when you're in the car or with headphones on. So for me, that's a big factor in why I'm doing this. If I can get this thing down to a science, I could bring this microphone with me pretty much everywhere. And I've got some ideas of what I will do in the future to make this even better. Coming from like an engineering background, I'm always looking for ways to optimize things or to make a weird situation work. You know, for me, that's kind of the fun of it. So that's what we're doing here today. Kind of talk about a few different things, you know, now that I've got you here. It's a Saturday night, 10 p.m. Gym is, for the most part, empty. Just me and one other person here right now. I always kind of like that, right? Like, you go to the gym on a Saturday night, lets you know that you're really about this lifestyle. You know, I'm driving here, my gym's downtown, or at least it's in downtown in the small town I live in. It's not a big downtown, but I got a couple bars. The bars are full of people. And here I am going to the gym to do my cardio. This kind of goes to show, you know, where the priorities are. Sure, I could go to the bar tomorrow. I can go to the bar tonight. It's always going to be there. But what about your fitness goals? You know, what about the things that you're working on? You know, if you just let life slide you by, you end up an old man with really nothing to show for it. So I don't really mind the missing out on the nightlife to come here and work on my goals. There's just something nice about it. You know, you really get to know yourself in an empty gym. See, what do you really like, you know? When other people aren't watching. Well, of course, I mean, you guys are watching, but I think you get the idea. The plan from here, now that my bodybuilding shows are done, I want to show you guys exactly what I'm going to be doing in the off season so that, like, I can be a normal person again, right? But I also want to keep my eyes on the horizon. I do want to compete again, and I probably need some time off, but that doesn't mean you just, you know, completely forget about fitness. So what I'm doing is, well, for one, I'm going to be scaling back a little bit on the cardio. Yeah, I know I'm at the gym on a Saturday night biking, but when I was prepping for the show, I was doing easily an hour and a half of cardio a day. Now, I'm going to be slicing that down to probably just 30 minutes a day, and I'm going to also be comboing that up with playing hockey. So my hockey leagues have started up. I play every Sunday, and then I got one weeknight game. Usually those are going to be Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Any of those 3 days. The occasional Friday game, but it's really going to be mostly Sunday through like Tuesday probably. So what I want to do, I want to give this carnivore diet thing the fair shake that it deserves. I did a little bit of carnivore to really trim down the last few pounds for my show. I've never really done carnivore before. I gave it the fair shake for about 2 weeks, and I really liked it. So I'm going to be trying it for a little bit longer. I'm thinking about 3 months is a good time span to find out if this carnivore thing is all it's cracked up to be. I want to give you guys my own take on it, because it's probably not going to be as strict carnivore as some people would like, but I have reasons for why I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Monday through Friday, I'm going to try to keep my carbs as close to 0 as possible. So really going for high fatty meats, looking for more keto ratios of maybe like 70% fat, 30% protein. I'm going to try and do that throughout the week, Monday through Friday. I might have a little bit of, blueberries and strawberries here and there, so the carbs might not be exactly 0, but I want it to be pretty close. Then comes Saturday. Saturday, I'm going to do a carb load for the specific purpose that I've got hockey games Sunday night and then a hockey game either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. What I want is to have a high carb Saturday and then a high carb Sunday. That way I'm playing at peak performance during my games, and then afterwards go back into ketosis, and I don't think I'll be out of ketosis very long. When you're playing hockey, if you're playing hard, you are going to burn through those carbs very quickly. And that's kind of what I'm going for. So, when you're playing hockey, if you're on keto, sure, you mentally feel really good, but the thing is, when you're out there on the ice, you got to be moving quick, and you got to be able to react as fast as possible. And when I'm on keto, the truth of the matter is, even though I feel good, my reaction speed's just not as good as it would be if I was carved up. So that's why I'm not going to be going strict carnivore like some people might want me to be. I'm still giving it the fairest shake that I can, and we're going to see how well I can do. I want to be able to stay lean through this off season, but I also do want to start making some muscular improvements as well. So when I did my show, the reality is I wasn't as lean as I needed to be, but I also didn't really have that good of abdominal definition. I want to show you guys over the coming weeks how I plan to fix that, because I got some ideas and I'm already doing them, which is part of the reason why I got my trusty microphone with me, so I can bring you guys with me as I train in the real time, show you guys exactly what I'm doing, show you exactly why I'm doing it. And as far as exercise science goes, I feel like I got a pretty good handle on how to work out. I want to tell you guys little tips that you can do in your own training to get better results. I see it all the time. A lot of people, they go to the gym with the best intentions, but they make the gym like too fun. And what I mean by that is, it's fun to lift really heavy. It's fun to do these big sets, but it's not necessarily the optimal way to train. My style of training, for some people, is probably going to be pretty boring, but the thing is, it almost kind of lets you know that it's working. So the way I train is I train very slowly. I make sure that I control the weight at all times through the eccentric and the concentric. And the concentric is in some cases even more important than the eccentric. So think about when you're lifting a weight and you push the weight away from you, you got to bring that weight back, right? Well, what a lot of people do is they let gravity do the work. If you're letting gravity do the work, you're missing out on 50% of your exercise. We're really trying to avoid that. So I'd like to lower the weight as slowly as I can. I want to get a really deep stretch, especially towards the bottom. Whether I'm doing this on a weight stack or doing it with free weights, but especially with the weight stack, I want to make sure the weight never actually touches the rest of the weight stack. And if I'm doing a dumbbell or a barbell exercise, I want to make sure that I never have full extension of whatever body part I'm doing, whether it's arms or legs. I always want to make sure that there's some tension on the muscle, especially the deeper you go. That's where a lot of the progress happens. So just going to give you guys some quick examples of that. Like if I'm doing chest flies, I want my chest to go super, super, super far back. And then when I come up here, I want to really extend as far out as I can, get that full eccentric motion, but then I want to really slowly lower that weight until my chest is like almost getting ripped out of the sternum. Of course, I'm not going as heavy as I used to. I've got no risk of injury because I'm not going that heavy. I feel a lot of the burn, but the burn is never so much that I feel like the muscle actually will get ripped out. You just want it to feel that way. Now that's like a chest fly. If I'm doing hamstring curls, I want to lower that weight so that when the weight stack is maybe just like a centimeter from touching the rest of the weight, then I know I'm getting a really good stretch in the hamstrings. And that's basically the idea. Hold on, guys. I'm going to do a camera angle change. Just like that. You see? Tech demo. Seeing if all this stuff works. What I really want to do is get these cameras set up when I'm doing workouts, show you guys different angles so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But unlike these other, TikTokers and Instagram guys, they're just basically doing this stuff to show off. Got my microphone with me. I'm going to try and talk you guys through my workouts in real time while I'm doing them. We're going to see if this thing works out. I really don't know yet. So I'm glad that you're watching this video. You're kind of learning with me as I go. You know, if this is like a video game, I'm leveling up my YouTube character. And so, you know, I've always kind of thought about things that way. You know, I used to be a big gamer and played a lot of World of Warcraft growing up. I wasn't in shape at all, you know, 14 years old. Not very good looking, but I was pretty good at Molten Core. Did a lot of that, and then as I got older, I started thinking, I was like, well, you know, I got really good at this World of Warcraft game. Why don't I start applying this to real life? Start leveling up my real life character. So I got in the gym, and I hit the gym with basically the same level of intensity that was hitting, you know, World of Warcraft dungeons, you know? I was in what they call mythic raiding guilds, which if you haven't played the game, what that basically means is that you're online 4 or 5 nights a week for hours at a time, throwing yourself at this crazy boss, you know, with 20 other people. And if even one guy goes down, that's it. The whole group's gonna die. So it's you and 19 other people grinding things out. And in order to make it all work, you gotta come prepared. You gotta know the fights. You gotta have all your items in order. You gotta basically do as much research in the game as possible before you even start the fight. I treat bodybuilding the same way. I make sure that I understand everything that's going on around me so that I can have the optimal results when I'm in here. That means that I got my diet correct. That means that I got the exercise science correct. When you put all these things together with the knowledge before you even get to the gym, you're gonna have a lot better results that way. That's basically it, you know. Glad you guys are here listening to me kind of free thought, you know. There wasn't like a structure to this. I don't have a script in front of me. Kind of winging it, but it's fun, you know. Great way for you guys to get to know me. And it's a great way for me to really see if my knowledge, you know, put to the test, does it really make sense or not? You guys will keep me honest, you know. Leave comments, say, hey, like what you're saying, or you know what, maybe your way's not the right way. I gotta say, you know, people have been pretty collaborative with me, telling me a lot of things. I'm just one guy. I'm getting workouts from other people leaving comments or people that are, you know, sending me direct messages. Learning a lot of cool stuff. I'll give you an example. Not that long ago, someone I met through this told me, hey, you should try doing this crazy squat experiment. So the experiment was to do 12 sets of squat to 20 reps. You don't go too heavy. You only go 135, but you just really grind it out. And he told me, you know, see how it goes. You'll probably add a lot of mass to your legs and, you know, get that core tightened up. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give that a try. Well, I liked it so much, I'm kind of incorporating that into my normal leg day. So when I come back and do legs, I'm going to show you guys a little bit of what I'm talking about. You guys are watching me on my journey, and hopefully along the way, you guys are learning a lot of stuff too. That's kind of the whole idea that I had with this. So I'm going to move the mic, we'll adjust it. So what I want to do in the future, I'll take you guys to my different workout stations. You know, this gym's got pretty much everything that I need. So as long as I can get the right angles together, and I can figure out where to put this bad boy, I should be able to pretty accurately show you guys everything that I'm working on. That's the plan anyway. Aside from that, I definitely want to get this thing in the grocery store. I think it'd be really nice to get this quality when I'm in Costco. If you guys have been watching me, you know I go to Costco a lot. And some of the problems I have when I'm in there is that the microphone, it picks up a lot of different noise. It almost seems like the microphone auto-adjusts depending on like what kind of noise is going on. And then when I'm post-processing the videos, you know, one clip could have really good crisp audio, and the next one, the audio could be all over the place. It just seems really inconsistent. With this, if I get this thing down right, I want every single clip to sound like not only every other clip in that video, but I want it to sound like every other clip in every other video. That way, when you're watching me, you kind of expect a certain level of quality with every single shot of audio. For me, that's something that's really important. You know, I listen to a lot of stuff myself when I'm doing cardio podcasts all day. It's something I pay attention to. You know, if there's really bad audio on a video, it almost doesn't matter who made it. I'm going to click away. But on the inverse of that, if the audio is really good, it almost doesn't matter what the person's saying or talking about. If it sounds pleasing to the ear, you'll keep listening, keep watching. Not saying I want to do that to you guys, but just something that I think about, you know? There's other things I want to talk to you guys about too, and we'll get there over time, you know? I'm still new to this. Still figuring out what I can and can't talk about on the channel, but basically I want to just help people get to their best version of themselves, right? Some of that comes through bodybuilding. I also am a big finance guy. If you guys are interested, I could talk about some finance things too. So let me know in the comments if that's the kind of stuff you want to hear about, and we can talk about different topics, see where things go. So I got something for you guys. So someone asked me recently, hey, I'm really good at my diet when I'm at home by myself, but what do I do when I'm at work or I'm in social situations where people aren't going to be understanding of my diet? So if you guys have watched me in the past, I do a lot of fasting, and I've actually talked a lot of people into fasting. It's something that they run into, is that they have a hard time fasting when other people know about it. So if you are going to fast, one thing I really recommend is that you don't tell people about it. Now, it's one thing if I do, because everybody in my personal life kind of knows that I do a bunch of stuff, right? Every other week I got a spray tan on. People know there's something going on with this guy. So if I tell people I'm fasting, they're not that surprised by it. But if you're starting out a diet, people are going to expect you to be following your old habits. And it can be kind of weird to them to see if you're not following your old habits. That's why it's good, if you're going to be fasting, or even if you change up your diet, try to keep it to yourself, at least until the results come in. Once the results come in, then you can start talking about it. On to the practical advice here. If you're at work or if you're at a social setting, if you know the food that's available is going to throw you off your program, one thing you could do, and you got to kind of be preemptive about this, if you know something's coming up about a half hour before that event starts, drink a lot of water. Drink maybe a liter, maybe even 2 liters of water. What that's going to do is going to fill you up, so that if you do know that you're going to end up eating some of the food that's not on your plan, by having all that water, you're going to fill up, you're going to have less of it. And even something like that is a small victory, where if you didn't have the water, you'd end up, binge eating or eating more than you should. You have the water, maybe you only have half, or maybe you only have a quarter. Sure, you're still not exactly following your program, but you're mitigating your losses. If you're in a situation like that, try giving that a shot, see if it works for you. Another thing that can also work, it's kind of juvenile, but just tell people you already ate. I've done that plenty of times. And just say, I screwed up. I'm not hungry, I just ate, but I'll have a coffee, I'll drink water, and I'll still hang with you. I just won't eat. You can do that, and it's really easy to still socialize without having all the food that's available. And a lot of the times people won't question that. If you already ate, right? So what's the big deal? Just don't tell people you're dieting, and don't tell people you're fasting. Have a water, have a coffee. Sparkling water is my go-to. Get some San Pellegrino. That's a good way to mitigate the damages when you're out there being social. And that's really the big one. Everybody can be really good at home, especially if you follow this advice of not having junk food in the house. You get the junk food out of the house, goes a long way. Then you learn the social problems, avoid those, and you're in good shape. So I probably won't keep you guys too much longer, but what I do want to say is, over the next week or two, I'm going to be taking you guys through like a video of what I'm going to eat in like an entire day. So I'll probably make a video going over that. I'll probably make a video going over what my macros are going to be. I know I kind of touched on it earlier, but I'll show you guys like meal by meal what I'm going to be doing on a pretty regular daily basis. I like to keep the variables consistent. Once I dial in on something, I'm going to probably do that same meal or that same structure for a few weeks in a row. I'll work on that, have that coming out to you guys probably in the next week or two. And then aside from that, I really want to get you guys out here into the gym, seeing the way I train, because that'll put the whole picture together. I really haven't done much training videos yet, but I definitely want to get there so that you guys get the total package. Yeah, this was just a tech demo, but if you made it all the way through the video, totally appreciate you. Let me know what you guys want to hear me talk about. I'm open-minded to a lot of different things. I'm open-minded to trying a lot of different things too. So love hearing from you guys. Appreciate the support. And with that, guys, probably catch you in the